My dad left me at birth, then came back for my kidney. I never thought I'd meet the man who left me to rot in foster care, but when I opened my apartment door and saw his face, I just stood there, frozen. "Hey," he said, eyes soft like he practiced the look in the mirror. "I'm your dad." I was 22, fresh out of engineering school, still living in a tiny apartment with thrift store furniture and ramen in the cabinets. I'd made it out of hell, barely, and now, here he was, like nothing happened. He said he left when my mom died, giving birth to me. Said he was 19, scared, lost, but I never stopped thinking about you, he claimed. I should have slammed the door, but I didn't, because I used to pray for this moment as a kid. When my foster family screamed at me or moved me on like a broken appliance, I'd imagine this guy showing up, telling me he made a mistake, that he wanted me back. So I gave him a chance, and for the first time in my life, I had a dad. We went hiking, traveled a little. He taught me how to shoot, how to gut a fish, how to skydive. We even spent one night just drinking cheap whiskey, laughing about absolutely nothing. I thought maybe life was finally making sense, until one night we were on a cabin trip sitting by the fire. He got quiet and said, "I didn't come back just to make things right." Then he told me, kidney failure, stage 5, maybe a year left. He was on the donor list, but it could take years. He tried to brush it off, but I could see it, the fear behind his eyes. So I told him, "I'll do it." He tried to say no. I insisted. He said he didn't want to hurt me. I told him it was worth it, because this was my dad, the man I'd waited my whole life to meet. A month later, we were in the hospital, beds next to each other, prepped for surgery. He looked at me and said, "You're saving my life." I smiled and said, "Just don't disappear on me again." The anesthesia kicked in, and when I woke up, his bed was empty. At first I thought he was in the bathroom, but hours passed. Then a nurse came in. "Oh, he signed out a few hours after the surgery." Signed out? No goodbye, no waiting for me to wake up, not even a damn note. That's when it hit me. He didn't come back for me. He came back for my kidney. I laughed, right there in the hospital bed. A broken, bitter laugh, because of course he did. And just like that, I went from feeling whole to feeling hollow again. After I got out, I tried not to think about him, but I couldn't, because the betrayal was too personal. So I started digging. Turns out my dad had a pattern. I found forums where people talked about a man matching his description. Different names, same face. One girl said he pretended to be her long-lost uncle, took a cash inheritance, and ghosted. Another said he posed as a fake recovery sponsor, just to use her credit. He wasn't a coward, he was a parasite, and I was just another host. So I made a plan. I built a fake non-profit website, New Hope Transplant Assistance, set up social media pages, testimonials, everything. The site promised financial help for transplant patients needing housing and support during recovery. I used a burner account to email him a link. He applied. Of course he did. Daniel Graves, he called himself this time. We told him he qualified for full coverage, transportation, free housing, post-op therapy sessions. All he had to do was sign paperwork and move into a luxury penthouse we rented short-term, using my bonus check and a little help from a friend. It was a trap. Every single form he signed gave us permission to act on his behalf for hospital records, government aid, even his bank account. He thought he was getting free help, but what he really did was hand me the keys to his life. Over the next 3 weeks, I drained his accounts, canceled his insurance, racked up credit card debt in his name. Then I contacted the Real Donor Registry and reported him for medical fraud. I even submitted proof he'd faked patient documents to jump the waiting list. His donor eligibility revoked, his medical records blacklisted. Then I waited. He didn't realize what I'd done until the day he got an eviction notice, followed by frozen assets. That's when I paid him a visit. He was sitting in his penthouse. The one I tricked him into thinking was free. He looked thinner, sicker, desperate. When he saw me, his face went red like a warning light. "You," he growled. I just stood there. "You ruined me," he shouted, stumbling forward, fists clenched. "You think this makes you a man? You think this makes us even?" I didn't move. He charged. I didn't run. We hit the window together. Glass shattered. The air turned to chaos. We fell. Luckily, it wasn't that high. 3rd floor. I hit a parked car, broke my arm, cracked 2 ribs. He landed worse, shattered his spine. He's alive, but paralyzed from the waist down. Now he needs more than just a kidney. He needs round-the-clock care, a wheelchair, government assistance. And guess what? No one's coming to help him this time. Sometimes I wonder if I went too far. Then I remember waking up in that hospital bed, alone, and suddenly, it doesn't feel far enough.